Something just happened, and fans can't stop talking about it. Just as Fujiano stepped back into the spotlight after coming home, a message started circulating online, and according to social media, it wasn't just any message. It felt personal. It felt direct. And some people believe it was aimed straight at Gucci Mane. Now hold on. Nothing is confirmed, but the timing, the tone, and the reactions have created a wave of speculation that's spreading fast. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and social media is going crazy trying to decode what this message really means. Because if you've been following the history between these two names, you already know this isn't just random. There's history, there's tension, and according to fans, there might be unresolved feelings that never really got addressed. The moment the message surfaced, timelines lit up. Was that a shot? Is this about the past? Why now? Some people think it's a warning. Others believe it's just a misunderstood statement taken out of context. But the one thing everyone agrees on? It didn't feel accidental. Unconfirmed reports suggest that the message might have been posted briefly before gaining attention, while others claim it was always meant to be seen. Either way, it didn't take long for the internet to turn it into a full-blown conversation. And now, the biggest question is, what exactly did Fujiano mean? Was this a direct message to Gucci Mane? Or is the internet connecting dots that don't actually line up? Because right now, the story is still unfolding. And what comes next might change how people see this situation completely. The moment Fujiano stepped back into the spotlight after coming home, the energy in the rap world shifted instantly. Fans had been waiting, watching, and speculating for months about what his next move would be. Would he stay quiet? Would he focus only on music? Or would he address everything that happened while he was away? At first, it seemed like he was keeping things low-key, easing back into the public eye. But then, something changed. A message short, direct, and open to interpretation started circulating online, and suddenly his name was everywhere again. What made it even more intense was who fans believed the message was directed toward Gucci Mane. That's when the conversation really exploded. Social media is going crazy, timelines filled with reactions, and fans immediately began connecting the dots. Some people think the message carried a deeper meaning, possibly tied to past business relationships and personal tensions. Others believe it might have been misunderstood, taken out of context, or even aimed at something completely different. Nothing is confirmed, but the timing was enough to spark a wave of speculation that hasn't slowed down since. Emotions ran high as fans started revisiting the history between Fujiano and Gucci Mane. Their connection wasn't just casual, it was business, mentorship, and music all combined. Gucci Mane played a major role in introducing Fujiano to a wider audience, and for a time, everything seemed aligned. But as with many relationships in the industry, things can change, and fans are now questioning when that shift might have happened. One fan commented, "This feels personal, not just business," while another pushed back, saying, "Y'all reading too deep into a simple message." And just like that, people are divided, each side building their own version of what might be going on. The message itself didn't contain clear details, which is exactly why it became so powerful. Some people think that was intentional, that leaving it vague allows it to hit harder, letting fans fill in the blanks. Others believe it might not have been meant to spark controversy at all, and that the reaction has simply grown beyond what was expected. But in today's social media environment, even a few words can turn into a full narrative within minutes. And that's exactly what happened here. At the same time, the reactions from fans added another layer to the situation. Supporters of Fujiano expressed excitement, seeing his return as a strong moment and interpreting the message as confidence. Others expressed concern, wondering if this could lead to unnecessary tension or conflict. Meanwhile, fans of Gucci Mane began weighing in as well, some defending his role in Fujiano's rise, and others choosing to stay neutral until more information becomes available. Nothing is confirmed, but the emotional investment from both sides is clearly visible. What makes this moment even more compelling is the silence from Gucci Mane. There hasn't been a direct response, no clear acknowledgement of the message, and that absence is only adding to the speculation. Some people think he's choosing to ignore it, not wanting to give attention to something that may not require it. Others believe he's simply waiting, watching how things unfold before making any move. But in situations like this, silence can be interpreted in many different ways, and fans are analyzing every possibility. Right now, it feels like something is building. The message, the reactions, the history, it's all coming together into a moment that has everyone paying attention. Whether this turns out to be a misunderstanding, a subtle statement, or the beginning of something bigger, one thing is clear. The conversation has already taken on a life of its own, and fans are locked in, waiting to see what happens next. As the message kept circulating, the situation didn't cool off. It intensified. What started as a single post from Fugiano quickly turned into a full-blown online storm, and now the conversation wasn't just about what was said, but what it meant. Social media is going crazy, and fans are breaking down every word, every tone, every possible hidden meaning. Some people think the message carried layers that only certain people would understand, while others believe it was simply a general statement that got pulled into a much bigger narrative. Nothing is confirmed, but the way the internet reacted made it feel like something serious was unfolding. Emotions ran high when larger hip-hop pages and influencers began reposting the message with their own interpretations. Some captions suggested tension, others hinted at unresolved issues, and a few went as far as questioning whether this could be the start of a bigger conflict. Fans are shocked at how quickly the story escalated, because within hours, it went from a quiet post to one of the most talked about topics in the culture. One user commented, "This doesn't feel random at all," while another replied, "Y'all turning nothing into something." And just like that, the divide grew even wider. At the center of the speculation remains Gucci Mane. Even without a direct mention, his name continues to be pulled into the conversation, and that alone has amplified everything. Some people think the history between him and Fugiano is too significant to ignore, and that any message with this kind of tone must be connected in some way. Others strongly disagree, pointing out that without clear confirmation, making that connection could be misleading. But in the world of social media, once a name is attached to a narrative, it's hard to separate the two. Then came another twist that pushed things even further. Unconfirmed reports suggest that the original message may have been edited, reposted, or even partially misinterpreted as it spread across platforms. Screenshots began circulating, each one slightly different, leading some fans to question whether the message people are reacting to is even the original version. That added a new layer of confusion. One fan wrote, "We don't even know if we're looking at the same post anymore," while another said, "That's how things get twisted online. Nothing is confirmed." But the inconsistency has made the situation even more unpredictable. Meanwhile, discussions around loyalty and business relationships started becoming part of the conversation. Fans began debating what they believe should happen when artists go through major life changes. Some people think relationships in the industry are expected to evolve, especially when circumstances shift. Others believe loyalty should remain consistent no matter what. These opinions aren't new, but in this moment, they feel more relevant than ever. And because Fugiano and Gucci Mane have a shared history, those discussions naturally circle back to them. Another factor that's keeping the tension high is the lack of direct communication. Neither side has stepped forward to address the speculation, and that silence continues to shape the narrative. Some fans believe this means the situation isn't serious enough to respond to. Others think it suggests something deeper is being handled privately. But without clarity, every possibility remains open, and that uncertainty keeps the conversation alive. Right now, it feels like the story is evolving in real time. Every new post, every new reaction, every new theory adds another layer to what's already a complex situation. Fans are refreshing their feeds, waiting for any sign of confirmation or explanation. Whether this turns out to be a misunderstanding or something more significant, one thing is clear: the moment has captured attention across the entire hip-hop community, and people aren't looking away anytime soon. As the situation kept unfolding, the conversation took on a deeper, more emotional tone that went beyond just decoding a message. What started as speculation around Fujiano quickly turned into a broader discussion about loyalty, expectations, and what really happens behind the scenes in the music industry. Fans are shocked because this doesn't feel like a simple misunderstanding anymore. It feels layered, personal, and possibly tied to things the public hasn't fully seen. Social media is going crazy, and the more people talk, the more intense the atmosphere becomes. Emotions ran high when fans began sharing their own interpretations of what this moment represents. Some people think this could be Fujiano expressing frustration or independence after everything he's been through. Others believe it might be a message directed at multiple people, not just one individual, and that the internet has narrowed it down too quickly. Nothing is confirmed, but the emotional reactions are real and they're driving the conversation forward. One fan wrote, "This feels like someone finally speaking their truth," while another responded, "Or it's just a post that got blown way out of proportion." That contrast is everywhere right now, and it's what's keeping the discussion alive. At the same time, the spotlight continues to circle around Gucci Mane even without any direct acknowledgement from him. His silence has become one of the most talked about elements of the situation. Some fans believe he's choosing not to respond because the message doesn't require it, or because addressing speculation could make things worse. Others think he might be watching carefully, waiting for the right moment to speak if necessary. But without any clear reaction, fans are left to interpret the silence in their own ways, and that only adds more layers to the story. What makes this moment even more complex is how quickly it has turned into a reflection of larger industry dynamics. Fans aren't just talking about this one situation, they're comparing it to other artist relationships, other moments where things seemed fine on the surface, but later turned out to be more complicated. Some people think this is just another example of how business and personal relationships can overlap in ways that aren't always easy to manage. Others believe it's unfair to assume anything without real evidence. Nothing is confirmed, but the conversation has clearly expanded beyond just one message. Meanwhile, content creators and commentators continue to amplify the situation, each adding their own perspective. Some are breaking down the message word by word, trying to uncover hidden meanings. Others are focusing on the bigger picture, asking what this could mean for both artists moving forward. The variety of opinions is what makes the situation feel so unpredictable. Fans are hearing different angles from different sources, and that makes it harder to settle on a single interpretation. Another factor adding to the intensity is the emotional connection fans have to both artists. Fujiano's return represents a new chapter, something many supporters have been waiting for. At the same time, Gucci Mane's role in shaping parts of the modern rap landscape gives his name a certain weight whenever it's brought into a conversation like this. When those two narratives overlap, even indirectly, it creates a moment that feels bigger than just a single post. Right now, everything feels like it's building towards something, even if that something hasn't fully revealed itself yet. The message, the reactions, the silence, it all adds up to a situation that feels unfinished. Fans are still watching closely, still debating, still trying to understand what's really going on. Whether this turns out to be a misunderstanding, a subtle statement, or the beginning of a larger shift, one thing is clear. The conversation has reached a point where it's no longer just about what was said, but what it might mean moving forward. Now everything feels like it's reaching a moment where something has to give, but no one knows what that moment will look like. The conversation around Fujiano and the message that sparked all of this has grown into something much bigger than anyone expected. Fans are shocked because, instead of fading away, the situation has only become more intense with time. Social media is going crazy, and every new reaction seems to push the story further instead of bringing clarity. What makes it even more gripping is that the original message hasn't changed, but the way people interpret it keeps evolving. Emotions ran high as fans began shifting their focus from what was said to what might happen next. Some people think this could lead to a direct response at some point, either through music, interviews, or another message. Others believe nothing will be addressed publicly at all, and that everything is being handled behind the scenes. Nothing is confirmed, but the anticipation alone is enough to keep everyone watching closely. One fan commented, "This feels like the start of something bigger," while another replied, "Or, it's already over and we just don't realize it yet." That uncertainty is what's driving the tension right now. At the same time, the silence from Gucci Mane continues to be one of the most talked about elements of the situation. Without any direct acknowledgement, fans are left to interpret his lack of response in their own ways. Some people think it shows confidence, suggesting he doesn't feel the need to engage with speculation. Others believe it could mean he's choosing his next move carefully, waiting for the right time to respond if necessary. But without confirmation, every interpretation remains just that, an interpretation. Another twist that has added to the intensity is how the conversation has started influencing expectations. Fans are no longer just reacting, they're predicting. Some people believe this moment could lead to new music that addresses the situation, whether directly or indirectly. Others think it might impact how both artists move in the future, especially when it comes to public interactions or collaborations. Nothing is confirmed, but the idea that this could shape future decisions has made the moment feel even more significant. Meanwhile, discussions about loyalty, growth, and independence continue to dominate the conversation. Some fans see this as a moment where an artist is stepping into a new phase, expressing themselves in a way that reflects change. Others view it as a reminder of how complicated relationships in the industry can become over time. People are divided, and those divisions are keeping the conversation active across every platform. Every opinion adds another layer, making the situation feel more complex with each passing hour. What makes this moment stand out even more is how unpredictable it feels. There's no clear direction, no confirmed explanation, and no obvious resolution. It's a situation built on interpretation, emotion, and timing, and that combination makes it difficult to pin down. Some people think clarity could arrive at any moment, a statement, a post, something that explains everything. Others believe it might never come, leaving the story open-ended and debated long after the attention fades. Right now, it feels like the entire culture is watching and waiting. The message that started as a simple post has turned into a major talking point, and the reactions surrounding it have created a moment that feels bigger than the message itself. Whether this turns out to be a misunderstanding, a subtle statement, or the beginning of something more, one thing is clear: the impact has already been made. And until something changes, fans will continue to watch, analyze, and debate what this moment really means. And now, we're left with a moment that still doesn't have clear answers, but has everyone talking. A single message from Fujiano turned into a full-blown conversation involving Gucci Mane, history, loyalty, and what might be happening behind the scenes. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and social media is going crazy trying to figure out what it all really means. But here's the reality. Nothing is confirmed. No direct explanation. No official response. Just reactions, theories, and a moment that keeps getting bigger. So now it comes down to you. What do you think really happened? Do you believe that message was directed at Gucci Mane, or do you think the internet just connected dots that don't actually line up? Is this the start of something bigger, or just a moment that got blown out of proportion? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I want to hear real opinions, not safe answers. And if you're into breaking down moments like this where music, emotion, and mystery all collide, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because if anything changes in this situation, you already know we're going to be right here covering it first.